For most, entering the witness box at the post office inquiry is the stuff of terror.
Thank you all for your interest in this case. It's fantastic.
Today, though, a massive exception.
Good luck. Only bloody luck. I've been waiting 12 years for this. Been looking forward to this, I would imagine.
Yeah, 12 years.
Yeah.
But a nice day for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The accountant as hero. Forensic accountants of Second Sight, Ron Warmington and Ian Henderson, called in by the post office to expose criminal postmasters who didn't exist, finding instead the post office running perhaps the biggest miscarriage of justice in British history, a gigantic cover-up to blame their sub-postmasters instead of their faulty Horizon computer system.
If it turned out that the Horizon was generating spurious shortfalls, that they had a lousy investigation function, that they had wrongfully prosecuted people, that would be existential.
Its existence threatened, the post office attacked.
Post office seemed to find reason to challenge just about everything we said.
I've declared my cash, I've declared my stock, I've done it all 3 times and I still can't get it to balance.
Sub-postmaster Joe Hamilton, portrayed here in the ITV drama.
It says I've taken £2,032.67 more than I think I have.
The inquiry was shown how the post office investigation into her had no proof of wrongdoing, but they went ahead, prosecuted and wrecked the life of an innocent woman. Today the inquiry lawyer revealed proof of the post office covering this up.
So this is in their original, and then on the right-hand side, please, you'll see it's gone.
Highlighted left, the investigation, which showed no evidence against Joe Hamilton. It's gone from the later reports on the right.
To you, this began to look more like a cover-up.
Yes.
Was this one-off conduct by the post office?
I suspect not. As things progressed, the attitude of post office changed. They became much more adversarial. I felt that they were protecting the brand. They didn't want difficult information to see the light of day. And we were having to fight constantly for access to documents that we felt were relevant to our work.
So what then did the real Joe Hamilton make of the accountant's role in this saga?
They're heroes because they have pretty much got to the truth. They got to the nub of the matter and evidence has come out. Obviously, they didn't intend mine to come out, but enough came out to cast doubt over what was going on. And that gave us the power, really, to go forward.
The accountants were coming up against clear evidence of wrongful prosecutions, scores of cases, and, yes, they told the post office lawyers, Susan Crichton and Jarnail Singh, exactly that.
So you say we realised that we may be looking at a significant number of miscarriages of justice. There was a lack of effective investigation, multiple disclosure failures, and conduct by prosecutors that needed to be considered by experts in criminal law and prosecutions.
Yes.
Did you share any of those initial views with the post office?
Yes.
To whom, with whom did you share them?
Well, certainly Susan Crichton and Jarnail Singh. And Susan felt that it was outside her area of expertise. She was relying on advice from Jarnail. Jarnail's position was, we've done everything that we need to do. There's nothing to worry about.
Pressed by the inquiry lawyer Jason Beer, Ian Henderson wished he'd been more forceful, telling the post office the truth it hated. But, he said, the then chief post office lawyer, Chris Ojard, had directly threatened him.
You say that you remember that at the conclusion of one of the working group meetings, the acting post office head of legal, Chris Ojard, warned me to be careful about what I said. He told me if I said anything that harmed the post office would not hesitate to take legal action against me under the terms of my non-disclosure agreement, and that I would not be able to afford the legal fees. I took this as a thinly veiled threat to bankrupt me if I continued causing trouble.
He came across as an ambitious and frankly somewhat aggressive lawyer, and that was reflected in the way that he dealt with Second Sight to a certain extent. Yeah, I mean, I remember this conversation. I thought it was inappropriate and to a certain extent somewhat surprising.
What had happened to the shared desire to seek the truth irrespective of the consequences?
I think we'd moved on from that.
Eventually, the accountants were sacked by the post office anyhow. We caught up with Ian Henderson after he'd finished giving evidence. So what should happen now?
But I feel there's sufficient evidence in the public domain now for detailed, in-depth criminal investigations to take place. There's some indications that is beginning to happen. Police have indicated a team of 80 people looking throughout the country at various matters. I'd support that, and obviously Ron and I are prepared to give evidence at any point.
That chorus is growing from many interested parties for police action without waiting month after month for this inquiry and then its report to see the light of day.